NATO leaders stand united against possible outer threats, but the cost of collective defense remains the main topic of this summit.
In his opening speech at the NATO summit, Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that this meeting was more important than most. He mentioned the threats from the East, Russia, and the South, the Middle East and Africa. And to address both of these, he brought up the leading topic at the summit.
We all agree that we don't have fair burden sharing in NATO today. Some allies spend 2% of GDP and some much more than that on defense, especially the United States. And other allies spend much less. That's the reason why we agreed in 2014 that we should stop the cuts after decades of cutting defense spending. We had to stop the cuts, gradual increase, and then move towards spending 2% of GDP on defense. The good news is that that's exactly what we are doing.
Just before the summit, Donald Trump met with Stoltenberg and reporters. The U.S. president slammed Germany for its defense spending and for being, quote, Russia's captive when it came to gas.
Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline. And you tell me if that's appropriate, because I think it's not. And I think it's a very bad thing for NATO, and I don't think it should have happened.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel refuted Trump's claim.
I would like to take this opportunity in light of recent events that I have myself witnessed that parts of Germany were under Russian control. And I'm very happy that today we are unified in freedom as the Federal Republic of Germany. And that's why we can say that we make our own politics and make our own decisions. That's very good, especially for the people in the new federal states.
And Stoltenberg countered that allies had indeed started to increase their defense spending.
NATO is an alliance of 29 nations, and there are sometimes differences and different views and also some disagreements. And the gas pipeline from Russia to Germany is one issue where allies disagree. But the strength of NATO is that despite these differences, we have always been able to unite around our core task to protect and defend each other, because we understand that we are stronger together than apart.
Under a 2014 agreement, each member state is required to boost military spending to 2% of its gross domestic product by 2024. But NATO diplomats say that only 2/3 of the 28 allies, excluding the United States, have a realistic plan to hit that level by then. Yet the small Baltic state Latvia has managed to do so.
But of course, everywhere, we are speaking about our spendings, 2% of GDP. Latvia follow that, and we already reached 2% of GDP. But of course, I think it could be very useful for all NATO, that all NATO countries will reach this 2% of GDP, because it is necessary for our security in Europe, it is necessary for our security in the world.
The summit will run until July 12th.